I'm still surprised. I've been a reverend in the Uniting Church now. I think I'm in my 7th year.
Yeah.
And I am, or maybe it's my 6th year. No, I think this will be my 7th
Into
year.
your 7th.
Yeah. And I'm actually still surprised that I am a Uniting Church minister. Well, the story goes like this. I was baptised as a baby at the Avalon Methodist Church, which later became the Uniting Church.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad fell away from the church. I wasn't raised in the church. I then have my next experience of church at Hillsong. So I experienced Pentyland, and I am in love with that. What is there not to love about that place? It's like rock concert. It's got good catering. It's got good costuming. It's got good lighting. It's got powerful presentations. It's got all the bits.
Lots and lots and lots of people.
Heaps. It's fantastic. It's packed to the rafters. And definitely the Holy Spirit rocks up there 100%. I experienced it for 7 solid years. Amazing experience. Big fan. Then my husband got saved and he said, I'm not going to that place. So we moved after 7 years to Dural Baptist Church and we became Baptists. Amazing. Lots of people. Beautiful mission in a sports centre. Fantastic, close to my heart. Lots of great catering, great fellowship, awesome people, different theology. Holy Spirit wasn't always there, I found there was moments of theological dodginess as I was starting to work stuff out.
Yep.
7 years, ironically enough, I left there and I went to Dayspring Church down the road, another Penty church. Incredible. Holy Spirit, live and well. Mate, Holy Spirit greets you at the front door, whooshed in the wind. It's just incredible. Great music, great fellowship, good catering. Best catering of all, they had a coffee cart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Praise God for the coffee cart.
Yeah, they had friands and all sorts of cool stuff. It was, they won. They were artistic and their mission was on point. It was beautiful. Incredible. And then I started going to theology college and started to learn about the Bible academically.
Yeah.
And I realised that I wasn't getting sort of 3 meat and veg. I was kind of getting just a bit of a risotto with a salad on the side and I needed more guts.
Yeah.
And so I left there and started exploring the Uniting Church because my lecturer was there. And I wanted to see what he did as a minister and explore the Uniting Church theology. I got 3 meat and 27 veg. It was...
Lots of broccoli.
Shout out to Reverend Dr. Peter Davis. He was a rock solid theologian and I learnt so much about the Bible and all the bits that were missing. An interesting, super small community. 17 people, I think, on a good day. Mm-hmm. Good catering, amazing cakes. Lovely fellowship, very, very small group of people. Holy Spirit was there. It stunk because it was an old Uniting Church in Linfield. So aesthetically it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I've had this blessing of experiencing church in many different settings, environments, and are they denominations?
Yeah.
Yeah, different denominations. So I've got a really good flavour, I think. And interestingly, that God would call me to the Uniting Church. Who would have thought, John T? Who would have thought I was called at all? But the Uniting Church, this beautiful, eclectic bunch of God-botherers that would meet on a Sunday at 10 o'clock. But it was a bit of a club, bit of a Mickey Mouse clubhouse going on there. And when I reflect on it, I think there was Mickey Mouse clubhouse going on in all those other denominations as well.
Yeah.
And I think that certainly my Bappo experience and the Day Spring experience and even the Hillsong experience, there was a gathering because they wanted to, that's what they did on a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening. That was their routine. It was steeped in family tradition. There'd be guilt if you didn't rock up.
Yeah.
Had to dress a certain way.
Like this ties a little bit into last week we were talking about the difference between castle-minded ministry and kingdom-minded ministry.
Yeah.
This is part of where I want to pick apart and critique a little bit of this statement is that I don't think there's anything wrong with loving your church. I think the issue that possibly Tim Ross is putting his finger on is when you start to love your church more so than you love the church. And when you start to think about numbers and competition.
Yeah. And I certainly experienced that at Linfield because what was happening was we'd have 17 people at Tryon Road Church and there was about 23 people up on the Pacific Highway Uniting Church because there was 2 uniting churches in the one suburb.
Yeah.
And then the presbytery decided we should join together. What a top idea. I thought that was a bloody rip solid idea, and released the Tryon Road Church to the Korean congregation, which had like 250 people coming in after our 10 o'clock service. They were pumping it out, so alive with people. But the Tryon Road morning community was so horrified and did not want to move up and join with their other buddies up the road, which was walking distance, Jonty.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do it. And I just watched, do you know what I call that? The reason they didn't want to go was because of the organ. Play organ music now, Jonty. Phantom of the Opera. Go. Phantom of the Opera is here. They wouldn't leave the organ.
Yeah.
It was all about the organ, mate. It was organ worship.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And it's the Rolodex in my brain is flicking through. I think it was the episode with Malk. The 98% of the reason why people refuse to change church stuff is they're just selfish. They like what they like and they're not willing to compromise. And the music is so often such a big crunch point for people.
Or the flowers.
I don't want to go to, like, I go to church in the morning. I don't want to go to church in the evening because the music's different and I hate the music. Even though I know, because I've worked in these places, the sermon is often exactly the same.
Yes.
Maybe updated a little bit to be communicated slightly different, but the content is the same. It's the music is so often the thing. And I think something that I'm, I guess, trying to put my finger on a little bit is this idea that maybe... Look, we believe in a God that is a living God and a breathing God and a spirit that moves and is still alive and doing things today.
Yep.
And which I think is part of what is so exciting for me at the moment, being a young person in the church, is I can see that there's stuff starting to happen. Stuff has been happening for a while, but particularly I think COVID has perhaps been a bit of a catalyst and forced us to change.
100%.
And we're starting to, through being forced to change, we've tried new things and gone, hey, we don't have to do things the way that we've always done it. But I think a challenge for people is being open to the Spirit moving within their communities and prompting them to leave some things behind, which can be
hurtful and hard.
Harmful and sad.
Yeah.
And with any great loss in someone's life, there is grief. And that is something that I don't know if we do particularly well in the uniting church is grief. It's hard anyway. I don't know how you make an environment where people are good at grief. Like that's a hard thing. But particularly... And please take this the right way. This is coming from a 24-year-old. I see a lot of people older than me refusing, and this isn't directed at you either, Ness. You're my great ally in a lot of this.
Hope so, shit. It's coming, brother.
Is a refusal to let things go that should have been let go a long time ago because they're scared to confront the fact that church has changed and is continue continuing to change.